Hey, this is Aaron, the metal theologian. Now, it's funny, I don't think I've ever done anything like this before. It's going to be sort of a semi-rant, but it's kind of directed at you all in a way. But it's not a rant. It's more of a pep talk. Because the reason for this video is because I was looking through some record store day stuff, and honestly I was curious if anyone else is geeking out over the Sun Ra the way I was. So I was sort of poking through those. They're kind of fun to watch anyway, especially because everyone kind of has some of the same records, who liked what more, and blah blah blah. One thing that really started striking me was that some people seem really upset about flippers, about shit being sold out quickly, and about, you know, a lot of people saying, oh, record store day is just a big fucking ripoff, and, you know, we're just really, I mean, it's a ripoff. I mean, of course it's a ripoff. I mean, you know, when is that news, you know? But there's some people who seem really upset. So even though it's sort of going to take the form of a rant a little bit, the intent of this video is to be a pep talk if you're upset about record store day, because you shouldn't be upset about fucking record store day. It's no big deal, and I've actually thought about this a fair bit, and at this point I'm pretty well persuaded that on net it's a good thing. So I actually don't have any soda today, okay? I've been drinking this thing. I'm loaded up with sugar. I just do not need a goddamn soda, but this looks kind of cool, so I'll show it. This is Milo's sweet tea, because, you know, we love our sweet tea here in the Deep South, and actually the whole South, not just the Deep South. This is Milo's famous sweet tea, all natural, and I gotta say that container pretty much grabbed me. The ingredients are filtered water, pure cane sugar, and custom blended teas, in that order, which may sound funny to those in the North, but I'll tell you something. If you haven't been to the South, you haven't had sweet tea. You don't even know what sweet tea is. I thought I did, but this is from Milo's Tea Company in Bessemer, Alabama. So it's kind of traveled a little way to get here, but I kind of love it, and I love my sweet tea. Very tasty. You know, loaded with sugar just like a soda, so I don't drink this shit very often either, but I do really enjoy it when I do. So you just saw a label you haven't seen before, and that's all you're getting out of the fucking soda talk anyway. So, I actually made some notes about this. Kind of weird. I've never actually done that before, but, you know, here's the upshot with Record Store Day. Is Record Store Day, if you collect records, okay, and I'm assuming if you're watching this you do, right? The fucking yahoos who go out and fucking, you only see them on Record Store Day or whatever else, they don't collect records. They just fucking go out and buy records because it's hip or whatever else, and that's cool. See, that's a good thing, because what that does is it helps your local record store. And frankly, that's how it was back in the day. You know, it wasn't that way in the halcyon days of the 90s when, you know, people like me were out there by ourselves buying shit up dirt cheap because everyone else is buying CDs. But in the 80s and the 70s and prior to that, even though I'll be honest, I don't remember it, but you see these old videos and you go, oh my god, the record stores are so full. Well, guess what? Those people weren't all record collectors. Most of them were dilettantes. They bought a record here and there. They liked the shit, just like, you know, people were into CDs. And now it's come back around and people like vinyl. So the industry figured out a way to capitalize on it by creating Record Store Day. Well, more power to them. The fucking card companies created Sweetest Day too, right? In fact, I heard they even invented Valentine's Day. I know they don't have Sweetest Day in the whole country, but the point is, there's a long history in this country of inventing holidays to the end of making money. And by the way, have you noticed the hype around Christmas lately? The point, though, is Record Store Day is not intended for you if you're a fucking collector. It's like, to me, it's like a Christian bitching about Ramadan and what a pain in the ass is. It's like, you don't have to worry about that. That's not your deal. You know what I mean? So, I actually, like I said, I made some notes. I'm going to go through point by point a little bit more, okay? Okay, so first of all, shit's selling out quickly because of people lining up. Now, people lining up, that's creating the event, that's creating the spectacle, and that's to make it something where people who don't care about record day, or records normally enough to do something like that will come out and do it, right? Pure marketing. It's bullshit, and it's to buy shit that's probably overpriced, too. But again, it fucking helps keep it out so that they can go and continue to sell records year-round for the rest of us. And so the pressing plants stay in business, which helps independent labels, as well as, yeah, I don't like the big labels. I'm not going to sit there. I don't really give a shit if it helps them or not, but you know where I'm going with this. So as far as the ones that I heard that sold out really fast, the big one was Fish. I heard at my local shop, the Fish record sold out in 15 minutes. And the Elvis one sold out really fast too, I heard too. But like, when's the last time you talked with a fucking serious collector who collected fish? Ever? Because I don't think I've ever met a collector who cared about fish. I've met collectors who liked fish, maybe had one or two, but I've never met a collector who was going to get up early for fish. And you know what that means? That means two things. First of all, it means that wasn't the collectors who were fucking geeking out over the fish shit. But it also means if people go and try and flip these things on eBay, it's not collectors who are getting ripped off either. I mean, yeah, it's a rip off to fucking go and sell the thing for $500. I'm not here to deny the obvious, right? But it's not going to be you. And it's not going to be a collector. It's going to be someone you don't even give a shit about. So let them have their damn fun and whatever. Another one was the Elvis thing, man. The Elvis one, dude, same deal. I mean, who gives a shit about Jack White buying this acetate and digitally transferring it? The only reason you give a fuck about that is if you're not a record collector. Because guess what? I have those same damn songs on a fucking Sun Sessions record in the other room. That shit's around. That's not for collectors. That's for someone who wants the hype. Okay? So let's move on to the flippers, people flipping the shit, okay? I kind of seen people get upset for two reasons. First of all, just flipping generally, and second of all, people specifically selling it on the Vinyl Community Facebook page. Now, there are a couple Vinyl Community Facebook pages, and I'm on there too. It's convenient, but the fact is, man, it's an anonymous message board. I think the reason the Vinyl Community is cool is because we put our faces on there and, like, talk about this shit with each other. And if you're involved in that, man, then you're involved in the real thing. But if your experience of it is Facebook, I mean, that's bullshit anyway. Have you seen how many thousands of people are on that Facebook page? I'm not saying they're all assholes, even most of them, but you're walking into a fucking anonymous page, like an anonymous group on Facebook, and you're surprised you meet an asshole? I mean, come on, really. If people are selling it on the VC Facebook page, they're probably assholes. It's just the way it is, so fucking stay away from them. You know what I mean? If people are not on there, just going out and buying up all the copies of something and snapping up, there are probably two kinds of people doing that. First one's assholes. Second one is dealers. Now, dealers can be assholes for sure. Okay? I've been collecting for a while. I've known a lot of dealers pretty well. Some of them were assholes. The fact is, most of them are pretty cool. And yeah, it pisses me off as much as anybody else that dealers manage to find this shit, okay? And that they'll charge hundreds of dollars for something I know damn well they found at a goddamn thrift store. But here's the thing about dealers. First of all, they flip shit so they can stay in business, okay? If they go and if it's a dealer, and dude, I wasn't seeing any dealers at this record shop, so I didn't feel like I'm talking hypothetically in the context of record store day. When it comes to fucking dealers, though, man, if a dealer is flipping a fucking a fish record for $500 or whatever, $800, whatever stupid prices people are paying for that shit, they're doing it so they can stay in business. I don't give a fuck about the record they're flipping. What they are able to do, though, is keep their shit going so I can go back and buy shit from them later. Because dealers tend to know their shit. Because you're not going to be a good dealer if you don't know your shit. I mean, go on eBay and look at all the wannabe dealers. It's really easy to figure out if you go on there or on Discogs or these other online places. I'm not going to give them all away. But the ones, the big ones, man, there's someone on there right now who has some shit on eBay, and it's obvious this guy's like a wannabe dealer trying to get top dollar for his shit because he sees other people doing it, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And it's obvious, man. And that's who dealers are competing with now, legitimate dealers who know their shit, who do things like have lists. Yeah, eBay supplanted a lot of that, but there's still dealers out there, and fucking you get to know one of these guys, maybe the shit's expensive, but if you get to know one, if they say it's in good shape, you know it's good, you know they'll keep you know it's in good shape, because you can trust them. They'll find shit that you can't find, and yeah, they'll make a profit when they sell it to you, but at least you'll be able to get it. Right? If they do well enough, sometimes they start labels. I'm going to show a couple of visual aids here. Want to see some records I got from dealers? Here's a record I got from a dealer. This is one of my all-time favorite records. I've never seen a copy in the wild. I've seen some on eBay here and there once in a while. It doesn't turn up there very often. A dealer sold me this thing. Was it cheap? No. But it was a cool dealer. Yeah, I would have liked a deal on it. But the fact is, I have this record. And I probably wouldn't have found this otherwise. Now, if this same dealer, if he goes out on record store day and fucking he gets 5 copies that Fish thing or the Elvis record or the fucking whatever and flips them so that he can keep his thing going along if they're selling more shit like this, man, more fucking power to him. You know, want to see another record I got from a dealer? Look at this one. Same dealer, actually. Look at that one. Never seen a copy of this in the wild. This is a Canadian record. I'll bet most of the Canadians haven't even seen this one. Breaker in Days of Heavy Metal. It's a band from Calgary. Yeah, want to see another record I got from a dealer? I'm not going to find this in the wild. And yeah, sure as fuck wasn't cheap, but it was someone I had a relationship with. We spent our time wheeling and dealing, and yeah, I knew the dude was flipping shit. Part of how I got that was trading him shit that I knew he was going to sell for a lot more than the credit I was getting, and I was trading it for more than I had paid for it. It's part of the fucking game, man. And yeah, there are limits and there are degrees, but you know, it's just the way it goes. Now, I know another dealer, not as well as I used to. I used to be relatively tight with him. I got some of the first like rare stuff from him. He started a label. Here's something he put out. Fucking High Roller, right? Now this is like a $200-300 record. Did I have to cough that up? No, because the dealer who did his shit, who did his thing, and did well enough that he ended up starting his own label, did a reissue that I got for like $20 instead of like 10 times that. I'm stoked, man, because I'd rather have that anyway. Well, I wouldn't rather have than an original, let's be honest. Here's another one. Fucking another High Roller record right there. So yeah, that other one, you'll never come across that, but all that shit's on here. And how the fuck did they know Militia? Because they're a dealer. And he'd been a collector first and a dealer, and he knew his shit. And there we go. And yeah, it's for the love of it. Believe me, this guy wouldn't be doing this shit if he didn't love the music too. But that's the way it is with all dealers, man. So, there you go. And that kind of brings us back to the whole thing. Now, most of these releases for Record Store Day, the ones that get the most hype are just bullshit. Again, they're not for you, man. Like the fucking, Elvis record. We already have that stuff. We talked about that already. Here's one. This is the one I geeked out over the hardest, man. This fucking Sun Ra record right here. I've been listening to this every day since I got it. You know something? This is going to get a regular release later on. This is like the special Record Store Day edition. Yeah, I ran out and got a copy. But if I had missed out on it, there's another one coming around because the shit will come back around. That Metallica tape that I know some people missed out on, that's going to get a vinyl release later in the year. And probably a CD eventually too. I mean, that thing's been sort of like, you know, a hip thing forever. So that's the way it goes. And that kind of brings us back to the fact that Record Store Day isn't for you as a collector anyway, because what else did I see lots and lots of copies of? Fucking Bruce Springsteen records. Do you need Bruce Springsteen? I mean, do you need Record Store Day to bring you out to spend $25 on a fucking Bruce Springsteen record? If you really collect and you want those records, you already have them. Same thing with that Jerry Garcia record. And frankly, same thing with shit like that Hawkwind record. I love Hawkwind, man. I already had that record. The Gods and Tomorrow. I bought the Gods record. I didn't buy the Tomorrow record. I had the Tomorrow record once before. I had an earlier reissue of it. That Gods record has been reissued like 3 times over the last 5 years. The shit comes back around. If it really matters, and if you really collect, you'll find it again. And those special editions they do, man, for the most part are just bullshit anyway, dude. Special editions generally are bullshit. So they put some out on Record Store Day. Those things are a fucking rip-off unless you're really that into it, man. Like the fucking Led Zeppelin records that a lot of people have been showing off. A lot of people I really like have been showing these Led Zeppelin records and geeking out over them. You know how much I paid for my Led Zeppelin records? Nothing. This much. Actually, I paid for one of them. I did actually buy my copy of Led Zeppelin 4, but the other ones I have, let's see, I have the first 3, I have In Through the Outdoor, and I have Presence. I didn't pay for any of those. You know where I got those from? I got them from a friend who had bought doubles in the dollar bins in the 90s. And he was like, oh, here, man, can you use these? I was like, yeah, sure, man, why not? I'll hang on to those Zeppelin records. That's cool. But guess what? If you collect, so it's kind of easy for me to say that because, like, when a lot of people got rid of their shit, I didn't. And that's kind of not fair. You know what I mean? Because this isn't like a moral thing saying, oh, you fucked up by switching to CDs. Because, you know, it's water under the bridge and we all do stupid things and whatever else. You know what I mean? But what it is if you go out and you spend $35 for a brand new deluxe reissue of Led Zeppelin, you're not doing it because you want the record. You're doing it because you care about that edition so much, because you like that band so much. And that's fine. So fucking enjoy it, you know what I mean? And the same thing goes for the goddamn record store days ones, man. If they're so special, they'll come back around. Most of that shit, man, that got hyped like this is must-have shit, is either shit you don't need, or shit you already have, or shit that's going to come back around. In fact, I can't think of a single exception right off. And I'm sure someone will comment on one and have something, but the fact is, even if you come up with something where I'm like, oh fuck, I wish I gotten that, I'm confident it'll come back around. Which just brings you back to the main point, man. If you're a record collector, record store day is not your deal. If it's important to you and you missed it on Record Store Day 2015, don't fucking worry about it. Let the dilettantes have their day. Let them come out and do their thing. It's everybody wins. Ultimately, you win because your record store does a little bit better and maybe has just a little bit more inventory the next time you come around. Maybe they're a little bit generous with the dude who brings in the fucking grail that you've been hunting for, and so they leave it there after all, and you get it. And cheaper than a fucking record store day release. So the moral of the story is, man, just fucking relax about it. Don't get upset. Just keep going to your record store. Keep supporting them. Keep digging. And if the shit's really important, you're going to find it eventually. If there's one thing I've learned in 30 years of collecting, it's that eventually shit turns up. Might not be at the price you want, might not be the place you want, and it might not be from the person you want. But eventually shit turns up. And if you want it bad enough, eventually you'll get it. Just be patient and fucking live and let live, man. By the way, one last fucking thought about this. I've said this before, man, but I'll say it again. Have you noticed how many girls there are in the record stores now? Because I'll tell you something, it wasn't that way when I was collecting in the 80s and in the 90s. It was pretty much a fucking sausage fest. So, you know, you gotta take the bad with the good, right? So there you go. Enjoy it. It's a good thing that more people are buying records. It's good for all of us. Yeah, there's some stupid shit that goes along with it, but that's just called living in the world, man. So relax, take it easy. We're all friends. It's all good. And if they snap up the shit, fuck them. You'll get it. Don't worry, you'll get it. Trust me. Talk to you later.